RingGangRadio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
Let me look at the comments real quick. A Dari Pennant.
Yeah.
I apologize if I'm not pronouncing your name right, but do you agree with the Bridgerweight division? Yes or no? Let me answer that. Hell fucking no. Waste of fucking time.
Yeah, we do not agree with the Bridgerweight. We don't agree with the premise because a division where it's half cruiserweight, where it's partially cruiserweight and largely heavyweight, especially when we have heavyweight champions under 220, that like Wilder, most recent example, that actually held the heavyweight title and is knocking bigger niggas out with one shot. It's kind of just like what
we go into more detail in the last. If you check our account or the YouTube or the website, when we reviewed the Oscar Rivas Ryan Razicki fight, we really go into detail. But at the end of the day, if you gonna have a Bridgerweight division, then y'all need to send Deontay Wilder a Emirate status belt or something.
Right.
Give one to Chris Bird. Who else? That's it, right?
Yeah, Chris Bird, Roy Jones. Like I said, like I said, Bridgerweight is, there's no reason, there's no use for it. But however, at least like the fights are good. If the fights are good, then it's whatever. But the division, calling them a world champion, no, we don't agree. But yeah, if you look, I just posted the stuff the other day. So yeah, if you want our real thoughts on Bridgerweight, just like we said, go to Oscar Rivas and Ryan Razicki recap, because I put there, it's entered the Bridgerweights in that fight. We go in because
exactly.
Definitely. Dude sound real pissed about it. This is an abomination trend.
We know it's a trend. We know the WBC's on its bullshit with this. Like,
WBC stay on that.
Trust me, we hate it just as much as you.
I heard the fight was lit. I watched clips of it, but I heard the fight was actually pretty good. I'll give it that.
We praised.
It was a good fight,
yeah. We praised the fight, but the premise of the division is trash.
It does, it makes no sense. And
hopefully it does actually fade away, especially because we talked about the disadvantages of Bridgerweight in particular disadvantages. So yeah, Dari, go check that out, bro. Like,
because the fight is basically like if you go to like IHOP and you order a burger instead of pancakes, but the burger is real good. That's Bridgerweight.
You're the gold analogies, bro.
Gold.
Like, shit! This double mushroom burger with jalapeno sauce and da. This is good. And like, hold on, nigga. Like, I'm trying to eat my pancakes.
Oh man, no, but Bridgerweight, we at Ring Gang do not support the Bridgerweight division, at all. We don't. The premise is all.
That's a big try again.
Thumbs down, 2 thumbs down. But
I'd rather see a heavyweight Grand Prix contender tournament belt.
or even a cruiserweight Grand Prix contender, Well, we had it for cruiser with the WBSS, but we want that, but Bridgerweight, I'll give it a year before it's to the wind, unless of course the other organizations be like, hey, this is a good idea, and then we have some more fuck shit with these titles.
Then we had to send them this video then shit.
Yeah, I know, right?
Let's start going in. So, but anyways, we got that out the way. But good question. We feel you on that. Appreciate it.
Before we go on, someone else just logged on, man.
New challenge.
Yo, what's good, y'all? You already know who this is. Your boy King Peebo. They got boxed in the building. I'm a little late, but you know what it is. I'm always late, but I'm still always on time. So, Ring Gang, what up?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Just in time. We were just about to start the Shields
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
portion.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the whole Bridgerweight segue conversation was like the perfect. Like that was like an extra 5 minutes to give you.
Yeah, I know, right?
That shit was perfect.
You was going in on that imaginary weight class. Yeah, nah.
Thanks for Mr. Pennant for giving us that little freestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care about no like imaginary divisions. You know.
You wouldn't buy a cheeseburger at a pizza restaurant?
Nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? What's the difference between 225 and 230? You know, fuck it, 5 pounds, cocksucker, beat it.
Damn. So who want to lead this one off, man? I know one of y'all like a Claressa Shields fan.
I think that might be P. I'm not trying to call nobody out, but it might be P.
Well, it's not me.
What happened to Key Soprano?
Yeah, he dropped off. I think he dropped off. Yeah, I shoot him. Yeah.
I mean, I respect Shields. I'm not like a super fan, but I respect Shields.
Oh yeah, she's talented, definitely.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So I mean, see, P, you've watched the fight last night between her and Montes, correct?
Yeah, I watched it when I got home. Yeah.
Word. So what did you actually think? I mean, obviously, I know everyone knows the big thing with Montes.
It was interesting. It was a good fight. It was entertaining. It's funny how Shields' MMA fights are more entertaining than her boxing fight. Like, go figure.
Facts.
But,
at least the last 3 boxing fights she's had.
Yeah. It was interesting. It's interesting to see her try to employ certain her boxing tactics in MMA, and sometimes it doesn't. It translates, and sometimes it doesn't. Like it's just interesting to me because she's like I've mentioned before, like Claressa Shields, one of her best attributes is her physical strength. Even for she's very, very strong. Like she's physically very strong, but yet she doesn't really know how to use it. And if she knew how to use her strength, it would have been perfect in the confines of the octagon in MMA. Like she got out bullied, like, which is weird because she's such a strong person, but yet she couldn't use her strength properly in that fight. So ultimately, I thought it was the first round I gave it to Shields. The second round was kind of a toss up. I could see it going either way, but I think I gave it to Montes. And then the third round was just that was all bad for that was all bad.
That shit was all bad. That was Montes all
I was like at times I thought I'm like she's like really close to being stopped. I was surprised I was surprised the ref didn't step in. But
it's like the reason why is Montes. And one thing that was kind of notable was like when she would have the dominant position, like she like her punches got like she was flailing her punches, like she was closing her eyes and flailing. I'm like, yo, what is you doing, shorty? Like, what did you?
Yeah, if she had a better ground game, like he would have stopped her. But yeah, but it still was pretty bad. So ultimately, I gave it 2 rounds to 1 to Montes. But it was a good fight. Yeah,
no, and that was the same way too. Like, I mean, like I said, it was 2-1. Like, I mean, it wasn't a robbery because a robbery would be like if I actually thought that Claressa Shields won all 3 rounds, and tell
the people in Claressa Shields' IG stories, it wasn't a robbery.
It wasn't a robbery.
If you told me
people saying it's a robbery, I'm just
if you told me you thought Claressa Shields won, I'm gonna assume that you gave her the second round, which okay, that's fine, but it wasn't no damn robbery because that second round was a toss up to me.
Yeah, that second round was super close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a true toss up, like I said. But one thing you can tell, like there was definitely improvements in Claressa Shields' game. Like her grappling game definitely improved. Like, but the biggest flaws of her was like she was just too over aggressive with the punching. Because when she got over aggressive, Montes took her down. That's what got her the points in the first and well, not really the first round. I mean, she still lost them, but just especially the third round, especially, you know. So it was just like, you know, like she. I mean, Claressa Shields, like she learned how to use that cage to stuff the takedowns, and how to position her feet to make sure that Montes wouldn't like flip her over or slam her or anything like that. She was good about that, you know. But like I said, it was just like, you know, whenever she got aggressive with the hands, Montes took her down.
and there's a reason for that.
If only Claressa Shields, you know, consistently learned in boxing to turn her hand over, you know, maybe that could have been so useful in MMA. But alas, here we are.
And which is facts, because the type of punching she was doing in the fight, sometimes she does that in boxing. Instead of punching properly, she tries to punch hard. There's a difference. You don't have to try to punch hard to punch hard.
Mm-hmm.
Hard punch is supposed to flow.
Right.
And so instead of just letting the punches flow, she telegraphs them a little bit. She swings harder. She steps in harder. They're not quick punches that are, they're like, and when she does that, it gives an opponent a chance to fucking go up under her.
Right.
Which it kind of works, and like she's lucky because in MMA, even with that form of punching, a lot of MMA fighters seem to telegraph their punches and lunge, and so they're not proper punches, so she can kind of get away with it. But if she had the proper technique, it would be even better.
Yeah, but see, that's the bad part about it, because she should know better. I mean, this is Miss 2 Olympic gold medals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we should be having a discussion about proper punching for somebody of that status. You can't have it both ways.
Right. But
punching is universal. Like,
right, but
you're either good at it or you're not.
But at least with the MMA, obviously, she's not. I mean, she has 4-ounce gloves on or whatever. And like I said, MMA
4 ounce.
And that honestly makes it worse, because if she's turning her punches over and just letting them flow instead of heaving them at this lady, it different effect, because you could tell the punches that did land, she had Montes, you know, buzzed.
And bleeding from the mouth.
Yeah, so just imagine if she was really, you know, turning her fists over and letting them go instead of just, you know, winding up. Like, it's low key almost on some Wilder shit. Telegraphing. It's like you know she was trying to hit that lady with that right hand so bad.
She was trying to hit that falcon punch, that Wilder falcon punch, and it just was. I mean, it wasn't. You know, it wasn't happening. You know, the MMA pro is going to be able to subdue that. You know, more than a boxer. More times. Well,
right. And the thing is, the ladies ate them shits.
That's right.
And that's what. And you're right. Like, and she ate them as well.
Yeah, she did.
Like, she never got completely discouraged.
Yep, exactly. Well, because I mean, Claressa don't have no power. You know, she got power, but she don't have that. She don't have no knockout power like that. So.
Nah, she got. I think we keep saying she has power because we see the damn boxers and they get a little discouraged from her. But there's only one set of fighters that get discouraged from her, and I've said it before. Those European titleists that, you know, be 15-0, never fought anybody, never heard of them, and you know, they get discouraged from her.
She's more physically strong than powerful.
Yeah, exactly. But someone that size and strength and speed advantage, you need to be punching with power.
She's like a Sean Porter puncher. You know, Sean Porter is known for being strong and powerful, but he's obviously don't pack a punch like that. It is similar in that regard.
I'd say more like Tim Bradley, because Sean Porter
does have some power punches at times. It's just he'd have more if he just didn't smother his work half the time. But his overhand right definitely has power.
Yeah,
I don't want to get hit with this shit.
Yeah, whereas Timmy was like fucking ripped, but you know, with the exception of his overhand right, dude never really packed a punch like that.
What is it with these short maulers and their overhand rights? Like, that's the only punch that like packs any power.
That's the thing. Bradley's overhand right is way more sporadic than a guy like Porter. Like at least Porter 3 or 4 times and he'll buzz a guy like ask Spence.
Yeah.
But with Bradley, he'll land a good overhand right every 3 or 4 fights.
Right. And then body shots to mix in. Yeah, he was definitely something else in terms of his punching. Why someone who looked like he did, at least didn't pack a little bit more pop in his fist. But that's mechanics there. But I digress. But yeah, with Shields, I mean, either way, like the punches that Shields did, obviously she bloody Montes, but it's just like. Yeah, like I said, I mean, obviously MMA is like if you can get them off your feet, then it's something else. And most people were kind of complaining like, oh no, the matchmaking's all fucked up. The matchmaking was like this. Like Montes is 2-0 herself. Like I mean, she wasn't that much experience in MMA like that. Like it wasn't like it wasn't like the first. Whereas the first opponent, Claressa Shields was facing, was it someone who was in jiu-jitsu or something like that? Like someone who could easily snap a limb if you're not careful. That was kind of a little bit, but this one was pretty much.
He had way more experience too.
Mm-hmm. So it's not like matchmaking, and it's not, and contrary to what you might have actually seen on social media or whatever, she wasn't set up to lose the fight. Claressa Shields willingly went to PFL. To compete. That's what she does. She's not the only pro fighter that does MMA on the side or whatever.
Yep. Exactly.
Right,
And remember the money. Remember, she's so big on the money. Like everybody says, there's more money for women in MMA, and when you say that and you go over there, then you got to live with the results.
Right.
I doubt she got $1 million for this fight. Like, was the money that big a difference?
Like I said, her reasons for doing it, that's hers, and like I said, but I do respect the athlete that wants to challenge themselves like that, but I
can respect it, but I ain't gotta agree with it because I feel like you haven't done everything you can in boxing,
yeah, and I also feel that same way too. I feel
what was the point? And this is the thing, it's not like Amanda Serrano where Amanda Serrano really wasn't getting looks like that.
I don't know.
Shields was getting all the looks you could ask for someone in her position, and then you still run the damn MMA.
And Shields didn't get washed. I mean, she got beat up a little bit, but it was a good fight. She definitely did her thing. So
the reason the ref let it go on because Montes wasn't hitting her crazy clean like that either. It was just the volume that was just pinning her down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing I'll bring up on. I think Claressa Shields needs to work on her lower body.
Yeah,
she just seems big down there. Like her legs are big, but I don't see no muscle definition. Like I don't really see no calf muscle definition. No, like someone her size should have the strength to kind of use her hips to kind of buck her off. And it only seemed like she could really operate with the upper half.
I say so. Claressa Shields has powered up from being on the ground. Like literally has powered standing up. She's done this in both her MMA fights. She is strong, and I think the biggest strength is her stamina. Is her boxer stamina is helping her because she doesn't get tired like that.
I don't think she has chicken leg. Like she's not. I don't think.
No,
I don't think she's weak I get what you're saying. I just don't think she's weak with the legs, but yeah, she can work on both, I guess.
It definitely could be stronger if you're gonna be. Cause look, man, you can't not punch the best. You can't not turn your punches over and not punch correctly. And then your lower body's not as strong as it needs to be when you do get on the ground. Like, pick a problem and fix it. Pick one that you gotta excel on one of them.
Right.
Like if you're gonna keep your legs the same, then your punching has to get better so the fight never get to where you need to be bucking your legs up and doing all types of crazy shit to get these broads off of you. If you're not gonna turn your punches over, then at least get your lower body strong so you can fucking get out of them shits when you do get to the ground. Like she improved, but she still got work to do. And
yeah, very much to.
And the the fight was close, but it wasn't a robbery. Like she lost, and there's no conspiracy about it. Like
I don't know. I didn't see any robbery posts, but I'll take your word for it that people say.
She lost 2-1, and that's basically it. That was it. That's And it was
she won the first round easy. That was the first round was probably the most clear round besides the last minute of the third.
Yeah, right. What the scorecards all 29-28 across the board anyway. So it was
they were 29-28 to Montes, 2 of them, and then the other one was 29-28 to Shields.
Claressa. Okay.
So it like I said, but the only thing I also want to speak on, because I also thought this was kind of, it was kind of stupid. I mean, well, there's 2 things. Number 1, Jake Paul. Now, honestly, let's put it this way. Jake Paul is just, what Jake Paul said to her, it is out of line or whatever, but you also have to understand the fact that Claressa Shields kind of was, talking trash about him and, unprovoked, and Jake Paul never said anything.
And we talked about that, and we covered that. We covered that too. Well.
Yeah, so
the Shields versus Serrano, like who's the true goat episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now Jake Paul had his parentheses.
Well, to be fair, Pat, that's not exactly true. Like she didn't start with him unprovoked. If you remember, like a while back when Jake Paul was saying like boxers he could fight, he mentioned Claressa Shields' name, and she's like, "Don't fucking mention my name." Like he mentioned her name first a while back.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. We might need the receipts on that, but I'm gonna take your word for it.
That sounds like something I could. I think I do remember that was a tweet, right?
I do.
Yeah, it was a tweet.
Yeah,
I remember him saying, "Well, he's a troll. I get it."
Yeah, but like he mentioned her first. Like what those like?
Then she said what she had to say, but then in the press conference for this fight, when they mentioned the thing about Serrano, it's like she couldn't filter herself. She kind of went off, and at the end of what she was saying, like she took mad shots at Jake Paul, took shots at Serrano to the point where they was doing little passive aggressive shit, and then now they're cool again. So like people be trying to be on some like, damn, why people don't like her, this that. I mean, she could be abrasive to some people. It is what it is. Like,
right.
I don't have to like you personally to enjoy your fights. And I mean, shit, Kovalev's a racist asshole, but I like his fights. He was knocking people out, like the fuck, like, like it is what it is, like But let's not act like she don't have a certain energy. But remember the damn Bashir Ali shit. That all the energy and the shenanigans and bullshit fuckery that surrounded that shit.
Yep.
So it's like it's not coming out of thin air. Like she could have at the press conference, she could have dialed down all that shit about Jake Paul and Serrano. She didn't have to go into detail like that. Like, because obviously Jake Paul, if you cool with Serrano, Jake Paul is doing Serrano a good big look. So if you want your friends to win, then when they start winning or if they get a good look, then don't shit on it. Like that's me personally saying, that's how I look at it. But everybody's different. I'm not an industry nigga.
Right. I mean, like I get that, but like I kind of would feel some type of way too if I was Shields. If somebody unestablished doing something as a hobby that I do as a profession tried to call me out, and then I'm hearing them talk about like the possibility of me being under him, like I'd feel a certain way about that too. Like I'm not gonna be a little man to you. The fuck?
Even though like it would bring millions and more people to see your fights. I mean, that's the thing. Like, people so quick to talk business. Then when they really get on some business shit, that's when people get emotional. Then it's back to just regular shit. So it's like niggas gotta make up their mind what they want to do. If niggas trying to be on some business shit, then you conduct yourself in a business manner and you don't burn every bridge or wreck every situation.
I agree. There was a better way for her to handle it, but I understand why she kind of did.
Well, no, of course. Nigga, this Shutterworth, man, you talking to, nigga, like,
yeah, I know.
Having smoke for everybody. Like, I understand, but at the end of the day, like, you still gotta pick and choose your battles and your situations. When you pop off all the time, your popping off don't mean nothing that much no more.
Right.
And now you open the doors to being, you have to be perfect now.
Yeah, it's an easy target. That's why, you know, a lot of people on Twitter were doing, you know, not clowning her, but just saying, good, you know, you deserve the loss type of shit. Because she talks a lot more than, you know.
Oh yeah. They were doing the most. Like some of them, some of them cats was really happy. I was just like, dog, like it's not that.
It's not that serious. It's not that serious. And it's not even her actual sport. It's not even in her actual sport. Like the fuck.
Yeah, but I mean,
imagine social media in the early 90s and there's Twitter in 93 and motherfuckers is so mad because they hating on Michael Jordan because he won 3 chips in a row and then he goes to play baseball. He failed at baseball.
I mean, imagine if Floyd took up Canelo or some. I mean, not Canelo, Conor in MMA, and he lost his. You know, that would be a fraction of the shit internet would have.
I just can't imagine.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, you talking about in an MMA fight? Then
Yeah,
okay.
If Floyd was, you know, undefeated and fought Conor a few years ago and lost, you know, or somebody like that, you know, that wouldn't be a fraction of it, but it's just a, you know, similar example in that regard.
Nah, the MJ examples, you know, is better because Floyd would never make a move so silly.
That's true.
Like I can't even imagine that to even play semantic battle with you, like. But you know, like I said, you know,
I look at Shields losing as James Toney losing an MMA. Big fucking deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know, so
because this is the thing, no one really thought Tony was gonna win, and he was already old. Like Claressa Shields is in her prime. It's different. Like the loss counts. It's a real loss, but it ain't nothing to be like she throw her career away or get on her like that. But like I said, you know, Jake Paul, he gonna say what he say, he gonna do what he do, but at the end of the day now, he still gotta finish this year out strong. If he lose to Tommy Fury, then, you know, Claressa Shields will have every right to say, look, man, now that you fought a real boxer, look what happened.
Right.
So, you know,
and honestly,
goes back and forth.
Honestly, back to your point though, and I was gonna say this, I think that I get what you're saying about being under Jake Paul and getting more attention and getting more eyes. But like if I was in that position, I would still be weary because I'm sure some of these fighters are still weary because Jake Paul is basically a fleeting business model that you don't know how long that's going to last. It's like in 1996 when wrestlers were getting big money thrown at them by WCW. It's like, yeah, but WCW, we don't know how long that's going to last. Like WCW is a clown fucking organization. So do you want to take that money and then risk going out of business a couple years later, which ended up happening? It's like Jake Paul, he could lose his next fight and then it's done.
I mean, but the difference with that is the Jake Paul shit is like a one-off. Like if you agree to an undercard fight for that fight, then whether he lose that night or whatever, still if a million motherfuckers still seen him lose and you was on that undercard and you won, then that's still a win for you, regardless of what happens to him. He could retire that night. You still had a million motherfuckers come to see you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what everybody's forgetting. Shit, if Montana Love doesn't take that fight with Barichuk on that undercard, does he get signed to Matchroom? Does he get that buzz he got?
Yep, you gotta take a risk sometimes. Exactly.
Yeah, like I get what you're saying, but it's still business. Like if you know, she's getting good looks, but for whatever reason, she's not blowing up to where she thinks she's supposed to be. Like, like I feel like she's right where she's supposed to be, but you know, I'm not. You know, she's the one that's making.
I get what you're saying, but you know, and I'm laughing because this is just another example of, you know, women, they don't want to downgrade in lifestyle. Imagine going from Shields, going from main events to now undercards for a YouTuber.
Well, she's
always been like a main event. Like how many great undercards was she on?
It wasn't like she wasn't on many great undercards.
That's what I'm saying. Like most of the time she's fought, she's been the headliner.
The last time I remember her being on the undercard was for the last HBO show where it was all women.
Yeah,
and that wasn't. HBO really went out with a whimper on that one. I'm sorry.
And see, that's the thing. She always trying to do like you in a sport full of men, like grouping you on a card full of women. Unless these are all great, fantastic fights that everybody want to see, it ain't doing much. Like you needed to be on cards under. Just like how we were saying, like, man, it'd be great if, the Charlos was on the undercard with Spence, Texas in the building type shit. Like,
right.
It would have been great for her to be matched on cards where, you got, bigger name fighters and shit. But I know PBC wasn't trying to see that, but, there's other entities out here, where you could have worked something out. Like, but it just seems like she always wants to be presented as the marquee A side and beat you in the head with it. And, you kind of get what you get with that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's in. I don't think she's. I also don't think she's being blacklisted or whatever. But it's just one of those things where it's just like
who's saying this shit? Like who's saying she's being blacklisted? Who's saying this shit?
People keep saying that. Yeah,
like do people understand what blacklisted means? Being blacklisted or blackballed? I don't think they do, because she's far from blacklisted.
That's what I'm saying. She gets good looks. It's just some people don't like the results they get with their opportunities. But the matter of fact is, you got an opportunity,
right?
And she, I mean, if she plays her cards right, it's the Savannah Marshall fight is still a big fight. It's out there, so.
Well, yeah, I mean that's still the thing. I mean, because apparently she's still, she's still going through with the doubleheader with her and Savannah Marshall being on the same card or whatever.
That's a good look.
Yes, and then depending on how both those fights go, I mean, obviously it should lead into a fight for both of them next year, and then like I said, and sad to say, but the UK does show the women's boxing more respect than Americans.
Yeah.
Although they're catching up though, but the UK is pretty much where it is for women. I think she understands that too. I mean, Shota.
But then on the flip side, she was still saying that her and them weren't offering enough money. So it's like, which is it? Like, are you gonna sacrifice anything?
What'd she say? That her hasn't offered her enough money?
Like, remember basically before he was saying he offered her $300K. She was saying it was $250. Like, it's always something, and it's like. I
mean. To be fair, Serrano had the same issue with her, so this is the first time.
The Taylor fight that went out of them, that ended up not happening.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's like, what's y'all sacrificing? Like, do y'all want the exposure, or do y'all want to get rich off of one fight? Like, y'all know.
Ideally, you want to get paid your worth.
Of course, but then if you getting paid your worth in some alley fighting some crackhead, like, is that gonna really move your career or just move your pockets forward? Which one? and that's a problem. That goes back to how when people was mad at Heyman for overpaying fighters, and people started getting a self-inflated estimate of themselves.
Right. And that's something I talked about.
What did you say about Haney?
Haney?
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Haney. I'm like,
no, Haney.
How people were saying how he was ruining the sport because he was overpaying fighters and everybody was over inflating their self-worth. And Pat used to go on about it all the time with PBC, how guys that fight, a Salka level fighter, and they're getting 800,000. Berto fought Freddie Hernandez and got 900K.
Don't get Pat started on that.
No, I'm not gonna get started on that tonight though. But
it's facts though. It's true. Like there was people who would say like, you're kind of overpaying these guys, so now when it's time for them to step up, they don't want to take the fight because, if you're getting 900K for Freddie Hernandez and then someone says, okay, I need you to fight, this guy, Jamal James, and you're only gonna get 1.2 million, dudes is like, oh damn, give me another Freddie Hernandez.
I mean, that's essentially why we never got Mikey versus Prograis. because he wanted the same amount he got, because he got $7 million against Jesse Vargas, and he wanted at least that against Prograis, and that wasn't happening.
See, you see what I'm saying? And it's like, which one is it? Do y'all want to be paid well and not known, or do y'all want to be known and paid moderately? Especially if you're not really, bringing in fans like that. I guess with some PBC fighters, they were bringing in fans and getting ratings, so it's justified. But not everybody, you can't, I don't think Claressa Shields could compare herself to Broner or a Thurman or a Garcia. You might might have more accomplishments than them, but at the end of the day, more people want to see them fight. So if they make more than you, then what'd that tell you?
Yeah, so this is it's a very slippery slope in terms of how Claressa Shields.
Yeah, but somebody's got to say it. We not pandering to fucking nobody. We not coming out saying she was robbed or she's being blackmailed or blackballed or whatever the fuck, blacklisted, whatever the fucking black word you want to say, nigga. Like, we're not saying that stupid shit.
Yeah, the point blank is she just lost a fight. She lost a fight, a close fight to someone that was, and to someone that's probably on her level MMA stuff, because she wasn't overly experienced either, and that's that. Like, there should be nothing more.
Yeah, like she had to fight Amanda Nunes or somebody,
right? Or she's not fighting some sort of, someone who took her to the ground and popped out a shoulder or something with a key lock, something like that.
At least she didn't go out like CM Punk.
Yeah, CM Punk. Yeah.
CM Punk. Where speaking of WCW, yeah, CM Punk definitely went out.
Yes.
So I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't a brutal loss. It was a loss, but it wasn't some loss where she can't bounce back from. Yeah, and if you don't vote, you'll bounce back from this shit.
Right. You didn't get knocked out. You didn't get kicked in the head. You didn't get a limb snapped or dislocated. You're good.
Yeah. You got this.
Yeah. So I think we spent enough, actual factuals on that, and now we go to our final topic of the night, and